All right, good evening, everybody. I am super excited here tonight to share some information that actually Michelle, my wife, and I, we heard about 8 years ago. And I can tell you this, is that the information that we heard over the course of the hour that we heard from Dr. Mark Gordon here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, absolutely changed everything in our lives. And we thank God every single day that although we came into hearing the the information as skeptics, we were open-minded to see where it fit in with our lives. And back then, I can tell you that my wife was dealing with some undiagnosed health issues that were really, really severe and actually very challenging for our family to deal with. We didn't know what it was and what we could help her with it being undiagnosed. And I'll never forget that first meeting that we were at with Dr. Mark Gordon, a cardiologist here in town, him saying, you know, just the extensive amount of research that had been done on protandim NRF2 and the technology behind it. And to see the advancement into where we've gone over the last 8 years absolutely blows my mind. So today what we want to do is we want to kind of share with you where the company was, where we are right now, what the products are, the science behind it, and where we see this going into the future. Because I'll contend all day long that I don't believe in 5 years from now, it's going to be a matter of educating people on how to upregulate and downregulate different genes in their bodies. It's going to be, what are you doing or what are you using to do that? It'll be that commonplace. So I do want to go back to where this all started for us. It was an ABC primetime investigative report that was aired. And one thing that I want you to keep in mind as you watch this is exposés and news, they're not supposed to turn out good for the company they're investigating. But take a look at what was done, what they found, and then I am going to bring on one of my dearest friends in this business, an amazing, amazing business partner of mine, Dr. Brett Brimhall. So we'll start with that video, and then I will bring on Brett.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock with just a few pills? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. As I found out firsthand, there may be a way to erase years, at least inside my body. Granted, it's down the road, but some scientists are wondering if a new pill I took might offer a very long life.
It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment, a kind of guinea pig.
Dr. McCord, okay.
I'm here at the University of Colorado in Denver to meet Dr. Joe McCord, a world-renowned scientist.
This is pretty exciting stuff you're finding, huh?
It is. We're very excited about it.
His latest research could very well unravel the mystery of aging itself. And his decades of experiments may have the potential of adding years to people's lives and possibly prevent chronic diseases like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. It all centers around this small yellow pill, and for me, it begins with a blood test.
It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company.
They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing.
Bad for the body,
Leading to disease.
leading to disease and leading to malfunction, and importantly, leading to what we call aging. It is a slow progression of increasing oxidative stress. That's the main characteristic biochemically of the aging process.
The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. So the result? Oxidative stress, and we all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells.
So, doctor, how often do I take these?
And so, here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment.
Doesn't taste bad.
It's called Protandim, and tests on both mice and humans have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us.
Right now, all we know is that this preparation decreases oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is not a disease, just like aging is not in itself a disease, but it's something that accompanies and is attached to many disease processes. So you can see the age-related.
Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age. But in Dr. McCord's tests, taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old.
They all are reduced to the level of oxidative stress that one would expect, frankly, in a newborn or a very young child.
High oxidative stress is associated with more than aging. It's been linked to hundreds of illnesses.
It's at the very center of many diseases: liver disease, diabetes, emphysema, asthma. I've studied all of these: strokes, heart attacks,
Even mental disease.
yes,
Depression?
Alzheimer's disease, depression.
Dr. James Crapo with the National Jewish Medical Center in Denver is also researching Protandim for the company. But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. Dr. McCord calculates the numbers. The result? My level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically.
45%, that's excellent.
Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after.
Which, if extrapolated back, is the level you would see in a newborn baby.
Would you suggest I keep taking this supplement?
I would. I can't guarantee it's going to extend your life. I can't guarantee it's going to eliminate any diseases or cure any diseases.
But we do know that oxidative stress is part of those disease processes. And I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old and find out that I should have taken it.
The company that makes Protandim says its tests show the pill, made from ingredients used for centuries, is absolutely safe. But because it's being sold as a nutritional supplement and not a drug, Protandim does not need FDA approval for safety.
It's the little yellow pill that scientists say could eliminate chronic diseases and help you live well into your hundreds. Quinones has been taking Protandim for 2 weeks now and tells Extra,
I am sleeping better. I feel a lot better and also energized when I do wake up.
You know, as a patient advocate, I stumbled upon Protandim almost 3 years ago. Someone introduced me to Protandim. I just looked at the research and figured out, hey, wait a minute, I have to take 360 oranges in one day to get the same effect of one pill? So,
antioxidants, okay? These are still good, right?
Oh, not only are they good, but we've breathed a whole new life into this topic. We now know that you can actually boost your own body's defenses without even just taking vitamin C by eating lots of colorful fruits and vegetables. But there's also a new supplement on the market called Protandim that is made from an extract of herbs that actually upregulates and boosts your natural manufacturing of antioxidant enzymes.
Wow.
So this is going to reduce those harmful free radicals, reduce some of that cell damage associated with disease, and this is a double thumbs up.
How do you find the energy to keep doing it night after night? We get a lot of comments. So people have been emailing me and saying they love how you look, like you're ageless. It's incredible. So
I have a secret.
What is your secret?
I have a secret formula, and it's a company called LifeVantage. They came up with a product called Protandim. Now, what causes the aging process is free radicals in our body, oxidative stress. This Protandim stuff, I've been taking it for 2 years.
We have it on the table right now.
Clinically proven to slow the aging process down. It reduces the oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. So I tested it, and it works. And the nice thing, it's not pharmaceutical. It's real food.
I'm going to have to give it a try.
All right. So that will bring you up to date on kind of where it was and where we're headed. But keep in mind, you guys, the thing that blew me away about that ABC investigative report is negative news sells better than positive news. You can't tell me that they walked in with that investigative crew and they were expecting the results that they got. They're typically chasing down the CEO in the parking lot saying, now what? Everything that you've been telling everybody is not accurate. But as you saw, everything was accurate, and actually his results, John Quinones, were better than what they were anticipating. So now I want to bring on Dr. Brett Brimhall. We've gotten to know Brett over the last several years, an amazing, amazing man. He's been married to his wife Holly for over 22 years. They have 4 children, ranging in age from 11 to 19. He had been in clinical practice for 19 years and has been training healthcare providers all over the world since 1995, you guys. Him and his father, they pioneered the 6 steps to wellness. He has been part of teaching and creating nutritional supplements, chiropractic tools, and techniques, again, all over the world. His passion of helping people achieve their full potential in health has now been expanded to helping people with their health. And in 2014, he had a paradigm shift when he saw the changes in a patient that he had worked with over for a year, and he saw these changes happen through this breakthrough technology that he's going to talk about. He's now a Pro 7 elite in our company, and he's sharing this life-changing science and opportunity with the world. So this is somebody that I have been fortunate enough to travel the world with him and his family. I can't get enough of him. He has helped us out just personally, medically, understanding the science behind everything that we have our hands on. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to my good friend, Dr. Brett Brimhall.
Woo! Shawn, holy smokes. Seems like a crazy story we've been a part of here, to tell you the truth. But thank you for inviting me to be a part of this. And it's crazy to think about where I was 4.5 years ago and where I am today and the people that I've got to meet through this process. And it's kind of funny, I'm actually nervous, excited about sharing with you, sharing this stage with you all, but sharing with all you that are on this. And thank you for taking the time to be here tonight, to take a look, if this is your first time or your 50th time, but really to deep dive into what it is that we have our hands on. Yeah, my paradigm shift was absolutely rocked because I'd been teaching the physicians. I knew all these different things we were doing designed to help people. And this mom brought her son to see me, traveled an hour each way to come see me every week for a year. On top of that, he's doing 35 hours of therapy. He was diagnosed at 2 with autism. His mom was doing everything she possibly could. I met him at 3. I worked with him every week for a year till he's 4. 11 days into him starting a product called Axio. He had over 50% in his behavior and learning, recalling things that he had been learning for a year. And I've always wondered, how much of what's going on in people is literally not what they're learning, but what are they able to put together and get back out. That rocked my world because we were giving him great nutrition. He had done all sorts of IV therapy and we were doing all sorts of detox therapy with him. But literally, all of a sudden, all these abilities he had in him now started coming out to where literally today, 4 years later, he's in a normal school. They don't know his diagnosis. He just made the principal's list the last 2 semesters in a row, right? Changed his world. And so I'm excited to share with you what I've seen because that was the opening for me because I wasn't really looking at network marketing. I didn't go into it like that, but I knew that I couldn't deny these changes I saw in this little boy. And to see the results that he had at that time got me starting putting this in people's lives that I've treated for over a decade and longer, and watching individuals get better in ways that I didn't think was possible, at the same time being able to take less supplements and needing to see me and other physicians way less. And I'll share a couple of those stories with you. So I'm glad you're on this to get your questions answered because right now, currently, guys, our lives are being hijacked by the environment we live in and also the things, the knowledge that we think we already know, but we really don't. So this hijacking process happens in the body due to everything that's around you. We understand this process called biohacking, which is going to give you the ability to tap into optimize your genetic potential. Just like Shawn said at the end, I love what you said, Shawn. It's not going to be a matter is if people are going to be asked, what are you doing to activate these pathways? Is what are you doing to activate genetic pathways? Because, 10 years ago, guys, we didn't have the ability to have cell phones to ask questions of Siri and know where we need to go. Now we have a technology that actually allows us to tap into our genetic potential, and it's called nutrigenomics. This process is how every disease is going to be managed and how we're going to be able to not only be able to therapeutically do things with people like Shawn was talking about with his wife and to help turn on the healing mechanisms back in their body, but literally prevent things that we don't want to have. This is a very personal thing for me because my mom passed away 11 years ago from lung cancer. Usually the type of cancer is only seen in smokers and drinkers. She never smoked or drank in her life, yet she developed a cancer that normally only happens for those. We did genetic testing on her at that time to try to understand what happened. What did we miss? Like, we're out teaching physicians how to help other people, yet my own mom passed away from cancer. Her genes were biohacked, actually mutated because of environmental exposure she had as a child. And over time, that process turned into cancer. So for me and my family, I am grateful to know that I have tools to prevent things as best I can, and I can start doing them today to not only help us function better today, but in the long term, do everything I possibly can to put them in the very best possible position to heal and perform their absolute best. This industry has been estimated to be over $600 billion industry in just the next couple of years. So when that ABC video aired, which is kind of crazy, I had a conversation with a guy today at lunch, and he was asking, why did this thing go network marketing? Right after the ABC investigative report aired, like, everybody wanted it, and you saw the different news spots that happened after, but they were trying to sell it on stores like GNC and Rite Aid, and no one knew what oxidative stress was. And so it's on the shelf next to vitamin C, and somebody behind the counter doesn't even know what oxidative stress is. So but when that aired, over $5 million orders came in overnight. Most of those orders went unfulfilled because they didn't have an infrastructure nor marketing team in place to get the message out, right? It was run by doctors and scientists, and I know how well people love doctors and scientists now and how fast information travels. It doesn't, right, when it's going to your physician, and we're using old technology still to treat conditions and people. So what happened, the company being publicly traded at the time, consultant came in and said, look, you guys need to switch distribution models. You need to go to a way which you're telling the story, which is what we get to do. And from 2009 to present, the company go from a $3 million company in danger of being delisted to over $200 million company plus, right? And you think about the time when this company started back in 2009, right, as publicly traded, that was one of the worst economies, definitely the worst economy of my life and probably most of ours. So why did that happen, and why are we now having this conversation here? But that video, when it aired, universities from around the world that knew that oxidative stress would link to hundreds of illnesses wanted to study Protandim specifically in relationship to different conditions. For instance, one of those studies published in the Journal of the American Heart Association called Circulation published a study showing that it reduces fibrosis of the heart. I literally saw a lady today, her husband had no indications of heart disease whatsoever. Cholesterol numbers were fine. She came in today and said, my husband just had an open heart surgery. No indicators whatsoever, right? And knowing full well that had he been doing things like this, we possibly could have not only prevented that, but now because he's at risk, what can he do to reduce the fibrosis to allow that bypass to have longevity? This study shows the effectiveness of that. Another one studied by Ohio State on heart, LSU on melanoma. So we're not talking about something little. We're really talking about this process in your body of aging called oxidative stress related to hundreds of diseases. And now you are going to know about a tool that you can use to be able to reduce that process if you're looking at prevention, or potentially turn systems back on your body where you can have your body improve and function better than it currently is. So much so that there's also drug companies trying to find drugs and making drugs to activate the exact same pathway. So real brief, just to give an overview of oxidative stress. Oxidative stress literally is aging. It's rusting from the inside out. So we all age. At the rate at which you age is determined by how much stress you put on your body, whether it's knowingly putting on your body or unknowingly. So from environmental pollutants up to just emotional stress, and it affects every tissue in your body. So if you're having those senior moments, I can't really remember where your keys are, or your skin's looking old, or your eyes are getting older, literally that's the oxidative process going on. So the question is, do you want to age fast or do you want to age slow? If there was a way to literally have an influence on that, would you want to know? And once you know, what would you do with it? Because if you look around that circle on that right, all those different diseases you're seeing there relate to oxidative stress. So we're not talking about curing, treating, and preventing. We're just talking about working with the systems that influence how in which you heal. So this is the choice that you have. You can eat fruits, vegetables, which you really should do, because that gives your body antioxidants. So you literally are taking those in. That's called supplementing. You're supplementing, like taking vitamin C is supplementing a deficiency you might not be getting in your diet. We're talking about a new process through the process of nutrigenomics where we can literally activate the genes to do the right thing. And the pathway we're talking about is NRF2 activation. So literally, it allows us to turn on the system to where our body produces antioxidants, where it's really getting rid of the bad guys at a rate of 1 million per one every second in every cell in the body. So if you want to put the fire out in your body, you want to turn this system on so that you can maximize the healing potential. When that happens, it literally turns that aging process back on its head. So this pathway has been studied extensively, trying to understand like how big a deal is it if we can literally activate this switch in your body. So that switch called the NRF2, it's the control mechanism that controls your body's detoxification systems, your ability to quench free radicals or the bad guys, control the inflammatory process and detoxification process, and the protection of cells. So Washington State, when looking at the switch, said this: NRF2, which may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and most extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. Excuse me, the history of medicine. So if you want to do things because you have something going on that you don't like as far as how you're aging, if we have a way to activate this pathway, you now have potential to do something with it. As well as you want to do something preventively, you can do that. But we're talking about the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. That's a giant deal. And Protandim is an all-natural, most studied, and effective way to activate that pathway without side effects. So because that pathway is a big deal, drugs like to find a pathway they can influence, because if they can do that, it becomes a game changer for them. One of the drugs that was made is specifically used for a process called multiple sclerosis. So that's a brain-based problem where the immune system is literally causing the brain to break down. And it can be very debilitating, much where people can lose their eyesight, lose their ability to walk, or control their bowel and bladder, all right? That drug called Tecfidera, known as BG12 in this study, was compared head-to-head against broccoli seed extract and Protandim specifically. The drug company did the research. They funded the research. So the very company that made the drug funded the research, and this is the finding of the study. So imagine taking this, if you're in charge of that study, back to your boss and you say, hey, boss, we have to publish this in the MS Journal. Interestingly, Protandim, a dietary supplement consisting of herbal ingredients, was the most potent inducer and therefore maybe most suited as a therapeutic strategy. Literally outperformed the drug that took $1 billion to bring to market, and it basically did over $12 billion in sales last year for one condition. You guys, that's incredible, right? I literally have a cousin that was on this drug, and just a year ago, the drug company said, we're no longer going to cover that because it roughly cost $50,000 for her to take, just one person. And we all pay for that. So guess what? I saw her at a family function, and she said, I think I'm ready to take that Protandim now, right? Because she wants to do something, and the drug company, the drug she can't afford. Crazy. And one of this got me even more passionate about it is I have worked with people for over 10 years that were originally diagnosed with that, and watching how this individual went from taking 32 supplements a day down to basically the vitality stack. Her body is activated in such a way that it's literally improving every month. She used to have 2.5 hours of good functioning a day to now where she says she lives life vertically, right? She goes and lives the other things that she wants to do at the Pro 4 with the company, changing lives as she goes, and truly living the life that she never dreamed she'd possibly be able to do. And she saved so much money that she literally has saved, tens of thousands of dollars on medical expenses and dietary supplements and doctor's visits because of these products. It wasn't because she wasn't taking good products, she was. But this is a technology difference where we're no longer supplementing deficiencies. We're no longer chasing our tail. We're literally activating pathways to control the aging and the healing processes. So here's what Protandim looks like. It activates NRF2, that pathway. It's the only diet supplement that shows that reduce oxidative stress 40% in 30 days. So imagine if you're reducing your oxidative stress 40% in 30 days and up to 70% in 3 months. What's your body going to heal first, second, third, fourth, fifth? It's going to heal what it has to first and what it wants to second. And the effects are cumulative. Just like stress, the effects are cumulative. The longer you're on this, the more opportunity your body has to heal and repair. All right, and it helps regulate over over 100 plus survival genes that control how your body handles stress. The certifications that you'll see, the NSF, BSCG, those are labels that basically means athletes, professional athletes can take, and their scholarships and finances are safe. The NIH, there's a 10-year study done by the National Institutes of Aging, which is part of the National Institutes of Health, that showed it it basically increased the lifespan by an average of 7%. So in humans, that's of 5 years. So how many of you would love to have known this information years ago, like with my mom? I would love to at least have that option, right? To have her do that. So what I can do now, currently with my kid, with the environment we live in, I can have them do this now to help them handle the stress they're currently under so they can function their absolute best. If there's one pathway, so NRF2, that opened the door to understand a pathway. There's other pathways that LifeVantage, because we're a biohacking nutrigenomic company, we want to say, are there other systems that people are struggling with that we can literally activate to optimize the performance of that system? We're not trying to be a better supplement. We're trying to be a company that is founded on this process of understanding there are switches. We're going to know what they are, find natural ways to induce it in a healthy fashion to enhance the body's ability to heal and repair. NRF2 controls the garbage guy, NRF1 controls the energy production. There's two theories of aging: oxidative stress, mitochondrial dysfunction. So if NRF1 system is not working, you'll see that picture on the right. Look at those conditions when people don't have good mitochondrial function. They're diagnosed with things like seizures or Parkinson's or Alzheimer's or diabetes or cancer or muscular dystrophy. So we're not trying to treat the disease. We literally are saying if we can improve those systems, some of the symptoms that those people may be struggling with are very likely to improve. How powerful is that, instead of having to guess? And some of you that know, maybe there's family history of this in your family. So what if you can do something now, right? What if you can do something now to start activating those systems so your body can not only feel better today, but prevent things for tomorrow? So here's what NRF1 does. Increases energy, okay? Allows the cell to function better, okay? So better sleep. Literally having a probiotic, you need to be taking one. If you're not, your health is not what it should be. So do you want to take one that's 60% effective or 4%? Because with the time-release technology of the probio and combined with a product called Well-Immune in it, it helps to normalize the immune response. So your immune system functions as it should and it doesn't attack itself like an autoimmune condition, but it sometimes has healing the gut lining up to help affect people that struggle with allergies and sinus issues. At the same time, it helps to normalize the microbiome. And here's why this is important. Just like all of you guys know, we all get a paycheck. We hate it when taxes are taken out. Imagine if you're eating food and you're trying to digest that food, you want to get as much possibly good as you can out of it, and also not assimilate the toxins that are part of it. So if you have a healthy gut, you're going to absorb what you should, and you're going to eliminate the toxic exposure you have. So if your probiotic isn't getting throughout the whole intestinal tract, then you're having issues. And there's so many conditions that are like this. And then there's the essential fatty acids. So essential fatty acids are critical for eyes, brain, and really every cell in the body. So if you know anybody that you love that has hormones and you want those hormones to work better, you have to have omega-3 fatty acids. I've done hundreds of labs, thousands at this point. I'm yet to see somebody that has a normal omega-3 fatty acid panel that's not an omega-3 fatty acids. So why is this one different? It comes from a source, so you can really trace the product back to the boat that it came from, so you know the water is fished in, so it's clean. It has the ratios of omega-3s that you should have. It has omega-7 that it will help with weight management, right? And it's a sustainable source, and it has a natural source of vitamin D. So it's foundational systems that allow your body to function at absolute best. I don't know about you, but I can't tell you how complicated health can be. Like, so when my dad and I teach, we made over 200 different nutritional supplements. Why so many? And I'm sure you all been in the healthcare store. I literally talked to a guy today. His daughter is diagnosed with a very rare condition, been struggling for over 3 years. It started with some major mental stress, and been taking, been to, tons of different doctors, a lot of different medication, still struggling to this day. He takes a lot of natural supplements himself. So if you're struggling with something, or you're just trying to help prevent future things, and you go into Sprouts or you go on Amazon and you're trying to guess what to do, you're literally guessing, right? So what if you didn't have to guess, because you're literally going to address the mechanism that allows your body to perform as it should. So the Vitality Stack, which was created by LifeVantage, won what's called the Stevie Bronze Award. It's an international business award. This allows things to be super, super simple. So how would it be to live in this world without a sanitation department or power, okay, or without a good functioning indoor plumbing system and without having doors and windows on your house? Guys, the Vitality Stack lets you address your 4 biggest systems for not only healing, but also in functioning. So the cleanup crew's working, your energy production's doing what it should, you've got your hormones and cells working as they should with the communication with the essential fatty acids, and you have your digestion and immune system working like it should. That foundation system makes it super, super easy. That's the foundational product of LifeVantage, which allows us to biohack that. So I get this question all the time, is this safe for kids? Guys, speaking as a father, I want to do whatever I can to help my family be able to function the absolute best. I mean, I'd get them tutors, I'd get them coaches, like, you know, my one daughter to dance, you know, extra lessons on dance, if that's something they want to be really good at, right? Literally, this allows me every morning to give them a pack of the Vitality Stack and an Axio, which I'll talk to you about in just a second. And I know I set their bodies up for success to function great, to handle the stress they're going to deal with, but also to grow and mature as they should. I love how simple that is. And as somebody that understands nutrition super well, this is what I do with me and my family every single day, because it gives me something, it's simple, it's easy, and I don't know what's better to do. Like literally, this gives me game-changing abilities to help my family have what they should. And I love that it comes from a company that makes it simple as me for a parent, where all I have to do is hand them a packet, which is nice, right? Because then when I come home, if they're that one's still sitting by where they sat for breakfast, guess what? I know who didn't take it, right? So I can give them a hard time. Here's a picture of the Axio. This is actually the product that caught my interest, right? So I saw that little boy make that massive change, right? With a week's notice, I canceled patients, which I never do. I fly to South Dakota to get my questions answered about the products. But at the same time, like I met the Pose and Dr. Gordon and many others that I went to with Carrie Williams, and she introduces this team that she created with these life-changing products, and she's been affecting people's lives by the thousands. And I got to see the energy that was there and the impact that was being made, right? So not only are these products life-changing what they do, but because of that, she'd be able to create freedom for her family, where she'd literally be able to do everything she possibly could for her son, because she had the time and financial freedom to bring her son an hour each week from North Phoenix to my office to get treated, to do everything she could to help her son function at the best. And the Axio came out and put the pieces together. So guys, this is my nephew's handwriting on this screen, right? Picture a little boy, he's 9 years old, struggling in school, one of the last kids to get done in class, struggling with anxiety, struggling with friends, because his brain literally can't keep up. His dad struggled with anxiety as well. After 1 week of Nerf 2 and Axio, that's the picture of his handwriting on the right. His mom sent it to us. I couldn't believe it. So we went from one of the last kids in the class done to one of the first kids in the class done. Think about the confidence that he now has as his brain continues to get better, what he thinks he's capable of doing, what type of friends he chooses to associate himself with, because his brain was functioning better. So how many people do you and I all know that are struggling and they think that there's no hope, when there may be an answer right there in front of them? So don't be like me in the sense of, I waited a year, even after I saw the major changes with Carrie's son, to have this conversation with my brother and sister-in-law, because I had to struggle with admitting that I was a network marketer, right? Even though I made thousands of dollars on them, I bought equipment to help their son. So don't be like me. Reach out, let the other person know what's available, and let them make the decision. Because moms and dads will do anything possible, especially moms, to help their child. Our job is to present that information, team up with people that will do it, so we can get this information out to people. Because there's a lot of people out there that are struggling that need this information yesterday. Just like I wish I would have known from my mom and had that option, there are people right now wanting this answer today, and we have that ability to share that. So this NIF2 technology, there's a couple other products that relate to it. One was in skincare, right? So one that studied was a melanoma. and it showed reduction in the spreading of the melanoma. So the LSU and the Skin Foundation said, you guys need to put this in the topical. So if you're into looking younger, or if you live in Arizona like I do and you want to reduce the chance of having those type of skin cancers pop up, what are you currently doing? You're probably putting something on your face right now that more than likely is toxic. And we now have the ability where we can apply this technology, nanotechnology, on the inside of us, and also the nutrigenomic process on the outside of us, and get changes like this. Okay. They've also made a hair care system. We're obviously putting things on our hair, on our body. A lot of what we're putting on there is being absorbed directly as toxins into your body. So literally, we now have the ability to use this technology to address not only your hair health, but your skin health. And here's just a few pictures of some things that you've seen with people in just a short period of time since this was launched. This is an app called Think Dirty. We use this because the company goes to a long process to make sure the products that we have are clean and pure and at highest standard. And ours rate, so 10 is the most dirty, 0 is the least dirty as you can get, right? Our products, look what they're ranked, 1s and 2s. Super, super, super rare, right? So you now have the ability to hack into that. There's Protandem, or nurture adaptation for dogs, called Pet Tandem. My little puppy, every day, she thinks this is her treat. Phenomenal results. You can look on YouTube and find some great things at it. If you guys want to look at the studies, great, but get the products into your body. You can go to PubMed.gov and see some amazing studies that are there, peer-reviewed, published science. Of all 200 different products my dad and I've been part of creating, none of them have any peer-reviewed studies. That's how unique this is, because it just doesn't happen. Because the ABC report aired, and because of what they found in that, all those studies are happening. So imagine a 10-year study, right, completed showing favorable results. That's what we have our hands on for validation. There's a weight management system that also LifeVantage uses. Okay, this weight management system, foundation is healing the gut. Tied to a fat burn, you take one today that helps you burn abdominal fat, all day long. And a prebiotic. The prebiotic is literally like changing the soil for your digestive tract. Huge. You're going to hear more and more in the future about the gut, the microbiome, and how that ties into every health issue. I truly believe that most, if not all, autoimmune conditions start in the gut, right? So if we're not addressing that, and we're not addressing that effectively, people are not going to be able to function the way they should. Here's some pictures, just kind of show some change that people see in the weight loss, right? And here's a picture of my family. Guys, when I first got into this, for me, it really started as a responsibility, in the sense of like, I just needed to share the product. I am grateful that Carrie came and had a conversation and says, look, you don't need me to sell products. I've done that for years. They said, if you want to learn how to build a business and learn how to impact more lives, let's team up together and share this information. I'm so grateful that she had that conversation with me, because it wasn't but a couple weeks after that, literally I'm playing basketball. I ended up breaking my knee playing basketball. Okay. So here I am hobbling around on a broken knee for 2 weeks, right? Wondering what I would do if I couldn't practice. I have disability insurance. It doesn't kick in for 3 months. So what do I do with my 4 kids and my family if I cannot practice? Okay. So I needed a plan B then, and I didn't have one built. The one I thought I would do, I spent 20 plus years teaching for other companies that was taken away twice. So when Carrie and I sat down, I'm thinking, okay, she created this residual income where she retired her attorney husband in 27 months, and she had no medical background, and she's impacting lives of people that she doesn't even know because she's sharing this information. And she did that in 2 years. You know what, maybe I can do that, right? Because there's going to come a time in all our lives where we need a plan B or want a plan B. And I'm grateful now, so much so that process has taken place, where I now have a plan B. A year ago, I was able to team up with a group, transfer owners, sell my practice there, so I can spend more time doing this and continue to practice a couple of weeks to help other people. But without the business, that wouldn't have happened. My dad practiced 30 years. So basically 13 years sooner than he did, I was able to sell the practice, right? To hopefully help impact a ton more lives. So I'm grateful that takes place, because my kids, they continue to get older. But now I can take the time when I want to be with them But at the same time, in the future, I can go build businesses with them because we've built a residual stream of income helping other people. So I'm grateful to team up with people like Shawn, because he understands the finances. He understands those numbers. You know, Shawn and Michelle, I met the first time I actually went out to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I stayed at their house because Carrie wanted me to see a couple of things. She wanted me to see not only that this was real, but to meet the people. So you're on this call tonight. I appreciate you being here. You're going to have a chance to hear some groundbreaking information, but it's also get a look at what and how you could do the business if this is a fit for you. Because there's individuals, no matter what walk of life you're in, this is the business you could do. It's not for everybody, all right? But the products absolutely are. So please get your friends and family members on the product. There are kids and family members that are struggling, that they've been to so many doctors, they're probably never gonna see me. Send this video to them, let them get a look, and let them make that decision for themselves. But if you're interested in the business, like I'm excited to let Shawn take over now, and like a guy that managed billions of dollars in the financial industry, and talk about what he saw from the business and what the potential is currently and going forward. So Shawn, thank you for letting me be a part of this call.
Oh, awesome. I love it, Brett. Unbelievable information as always. And you know, what I really love about this company is just the wealth of knowledge that's stored in all of the distributor field. And some people, their area of expertise is on the medical side and the science side, and other people, it might be on the business side. Some people, it's more on self-development and making other people better. But, you know, regardless what's attracting you to this company or this information, you really got to ask yourself, what if? You know, what if everything that Brett just talked about for the last half hour, what if it's all true? You know, where does that position yourself? And I think it's an absolute no-brainer, you guys. When you hear and understand what Dr. Brimhall was just talking about, and this technology of upregulating and downregulating different genes in the body, it's not a matter of if you're going to take these products. It's more of how are you going to take them? Is it going to be as a customer, or is it going to be as a distributor like Brett and I are? And our business, I'll be totally transparent with you, our business is 90% customers. And I love that for the simple fact that if you don't see the business vision like we do, don't do it. But again, I think it's a no-brainer that you're going to at least start taking the products themselves. And where I would get started if you're just looking to consume the products is exactly where Brett was talking about, is right there in the middle, this vitality stack. You guys, for $5 a day, you can transform your entire health strategy for $5 a day. And I'm going to go back to that for a second because I want to highlight what's there. And this is coming from the finance guy now. It's not coming from the medical professional, but that first product there, NRF1, what that's doing is it's increasing the amount of mitochondria in the cell. It's increasing the energy that's there. It's increasing the health of the mitochondria. And then we've got the NRF2 pathway. That's going to be the reduction of oxidative stress in the body. It's getting rid of the garbage in the cells, the toxic overload that we're layering, stacking upon stacking and stacking, getting rid of that toxic burden inside of our body. And then the omega, right? Most people's diet doesn't include enough omegas and the right omegas in their proper diet. And if you're like me, I'm in South Dakota, we don't see the sun all year long like these guys in Arizona. You need that vitamin D added in there as well too. And then the probiotic, you guys, let's be honest, if your gut is not healthy, your overall immune health is not going to be where you want it to be. So this is where I would get started if you're looking to transform your overall health and start biohacking your body today. And give this time. It's just like anything else. It's not going to be an overnight transformation. Some people, they feel things right away, but I'm telling you, get this in your body, give your body time to acclimate and get back in balance, because that's the beauty of all of this. It's not the pills themselves, it's getting your body back doing what God intended it to do. And we have an amazing capacity, an amazing pharmacy that's just waiting to be unlocked inside of our own bodies. So with that being said, though, I want to touch upon real quick the business side, the business component of this, because when I heard this eight years ago, I didn't understand the first thing about network marketing. I didn't understand the first thing about nutraceuticals, but I understood business. And I can tell you this, regardless what product, service, or industry we're talking about, if it lasts long enough, it's going to go through what's called this S-curve, and that's what's on the screen right now. And the S-curve, I always like to teach business with past examples so that we can show you historically what's happened, and then it gives us some kind of insight, some kind of crystal ball into where we can expect the future to go. And if we know that this S curve happens, if a business or a technology new service stays in business long enough, then we have to ask ourselves, where are we positioned in there? The best example that I can give you of the S curve is the iPhone. Okay, we're looking 10 years ago, this technology was deployed, it was launched, it was put into consumers' hands. But honestly, how many people do you know that had the original iPhone? There isn't very many people. That's the innovators, the early adopters, really maybe were along the lines of the iPhone 3 or the iPhone 4. And I'll contend that the iPhone 4 is really when the iPhone started to take off in this momentum phase of the technology of smartphones. And that's when the average person started coming in and adopting that technology. And then we're now 10 years in, we're at the iPhone 8, the iPhone X, right? And at this point in time, pretty much everybody around us has either owned one of the products or at least heard what the iPhone is. It isn't new to them. Now let's take this back though, and let's look at Nerf 2 technology. I've been all over the world doing this, you guys, Australia, Canada, Mexico, all over the United States. There isn't one place that I've set foot in that the average person, if you asked 100 random people, would have any idea what you're talking about if you asked them what Nerf 2 is, or if you asked them how you can upregulate and downregulate genes. The fact of the matter is we're before this momentum phase of the technology of upregulating and downregulating genes, and that puts us in an awesome position for potential on the business side and the financial side of things. Now, the next thing that I had to work myself through, I came out of Citigroup, and all I really knew was big business. We had owned some businesses on our own, small business we knew and understood, but where my specialty lied was being an employee within a huge corporate America. And I didn't understand the potential of network marketing. I traded literally billions of dollars. We moved the cash of Citigroup around the world on a daily basis, anywhere from $4 billion to $40 billion a day. And I didn't think that there was potential to a business that you could invest $1,000 into and generate it into a multi-million-dollar business. I didn't understand that. And what I have on the screen right now is what's called the income disclosure summary. And it shows the ranks in the company from Pro 1 to Master Pro 10. And at those different ranks on the right side, it shows the average monthly income at each one of those ranks. So at Pro 1, we're looking at $80. Pro 2, $260. Pro 3, $580. This is what I call part-time money, part-time income. I used to manage the defaulted student loan portfolio with Citigroup, just under a $1 billion portfolio, and I did all of the collection and litigation activity for those loans. And what I understood with the bankruptcy process was this, is that 80% of all bankruptcies in the United States could be avoided with an extra couple $100 a month. That's the difference between somebody surviving and somebody not financially, realistically, in the United States is a couple $100 a month. So don't you think there's a whole host of people that are going to bed tonight praying for something in their life to change? And I know this, if it isn't you, you do have friends and family that will go to bed tonight wondering how they're going to make it into March with their next mortgage payment due, their car payments due, the rent, whatever it is, or how they even end February with getting enough groceries to end the month. And then you look at the ranks of like Pro 4, Pro 5, $1,200, $2,500 a month. To me, this is supplemental income. You guys look at the baby boomer generation. When they went to work 30, 40 years ago and started working, was the world a different place? Was the working environment very different? It was. It absolutely was. And there used to be this relationship between an employee and an employer where you work and you remain loyal to the same person for 30, 40 years. And then when you come up to retirement age, what's waiting for you? A pension. Well, how many people today have a pension that's going to be available for them? And even if they do, the few that are remaining, is it getting more or is it getting less as the years go by? It's absolutely getting less. And so if that environment's changed, what's somebody going to do when they come up to retirement? Well, if they have an investment strategy, they have a portfolio, they could retire off of that money. But I do know this, is that the average person doesn't have enough saved to live even the same lifestyle for a year, let alone all their years during retirement. So what are their options? Well, their options are to live off of less money, a different lifestyle, or to continue to work. And that's what most people are having to do, is continue to work. So imagine having a roadmap in place where somebody can earn an extra $1,200 or $2,500 a month. And I want to point out something very, very different with network marketing or residual income, leveraged income, is when I was in the corporate world, we traded time for money, right? I showed up. 2 weeks later, I got a check. Keep showing up. 2 weeks later, I get a check. And the reality is I stopped showing up in January of 2012, and guess what they stopped doing? They stopped sending me checks. Well, if nothing else resonates with you and you're just going to be a customer of the products, what I would challenge you is this. In 2019, find some sort of way to get leverage or residual income in your life, because it will change everything. You get paid over and over and over again for work that you did in the past. And think about this. We have consumable products that people have positive benefits with. So what are they going to keep doing? They're going to keep ordering them. They're going to keep taking them, and they're going to tell other people about them. So it's an amazing and very different way to have an income stream than most people are accustomed to. And I'm telling you this information again to just open up your eyes about what's available, what options are out there. I know that this isn't for everybody, but I at least want you to have enough information that you can make that decision for yourself. Now, the ranks are like Pro 7, Pro 6 even, Pro 6, 7, 8. We're talking about replacing entire household incomes and then some. $6,000, $11,000, $23,000 a month, you guys. And then look at Pro 9 and 10, $40,000, $100,000 a month. And the money side of this is not why most people get involved, but I want you to know the potential of what's out there. And I'll contend all day long that with us just getting started and just being a $200 million startup company, that these numbers are going to look very, very low compared to what we see people making in the next 3, 5, 7 years, the course of this ramping up and really going through that momentum phase. The compensation plan, I'm not going to get into all the different details of it. We've got a lot of detailed information out there that we can send to you if you're interested in that. But I do want to highlight the one in the bottom right-hand corner, because this was very different than what I've seen with other network marketing companies. It's called the Elite Bonus Pool. And remember on that last page, I showed you the ranks go from Pro 1 to Pro 10. Well, at the rank of Pro 7, you start participating in all of the volume that goes out worldwide. Okay, and they take 4% of the total monthly commissionable sales, and they break it into 4 segments. And this is a revenue sharing program, not profit sharing where they're cutting out expenses. It's a true revenue sharing program. And they put it into 1% segments where all the Pro 7s, 8, 9s, and 10s share 1%. The Pro 8, 9s, and 10s a second. The Pro 9s and 10s a third. And then the Pro 10s, which globally right now there's probably 8 or 9 of them, are sharing 1% of a $200 million company. And the part that blew my mind with that when I understood this part of the compensation plan was this, is it wasn't a matter of if we were going to get to Pro 7, it was just a matter of when. And when we got to that point, it didn't matter when we hit enroll. It didn't matter if we were the very first distributor or we had just signed up 2 months ago. That part didn't matter. We are going to participate in the work that every single distributor had ever done in every country that's open. And that absolutely floored my mind, because a lot of times you hear in network marketing this myth of only the people at the top make money, or, you know, I only get paid off of what's being done in my organization. And that is dispelled with this part of our compensation plan, because it doesn't matter when you entered. It doesn't matter, you know, who's in whose group. It breaks down those silos that you can sometimes see in network marketing. And I'll tell you this. With network marketing, if you have a negative connotation attached like I did 8 years ago, think about it like this, is what structure are you currently in? What is your work environment and what does it look like? How is it structured? Who's making the money? And how long will it take you to get to the next level that you want to get to? Because my reality in the corporate world was this, is my next big promotion or raise was probably 10 years out. And that was relying on somebody dying or moving or getting a promotion themselves or leaving the company. Like, the reality was I was never going to make more money than my boss. And with network marketing, you can make more money than the CEO of the company. And there's people doing that today. And that's what I love about this, is there's no ceiling and no limits on your potential. You can earn what you're worth. And some of the best advice that I got early on, starting with network marketing, the mentors I had, was this, is that at first it might seem like you're drastically underpaid for the amount of effort that you're putting in, but you roll the boulder up the hill far enough and it's going to start going down the other side without you, and you can continue to fuel it. But it's such a different model. And I can tell you this, when it's done right, with the right people and the right products, it's one of the most extraordinary ways to do business that I've ever seen in my life. So to get started, if the product side is where you want to go, I highly recommend, talking to whoever introduced this to you about that Vitality Stack, maybe adding on Axio or some of the ancillary products. But if you're excited about the business, if you're Rolodexing other people in your head that need to know about this information, here's the different levels that you can get involved. We've got the silver pack that's $350, the gold pack that's $650, and the platinum pack is $1,250. You guys, if you understand business at all, even that big pack, the platinum pack, $1,250, that is a tiny investment into something that has the potential to turn into a multi-million-dollar organization. My wife and I, we used to have a very successful online business. I can tell you our online advertising with Google alone in some months was $25,000 to barely make money the last week of the month. And when you look at this and the overhead and what we're talking about, what we're doing, that platinum pack, if I had to sign up again tomorrow, is absolutely where I would go, because I've seen it over and over in business. The people that have more skin in the game, for whatever reason it is, treat it more like a business. You'll get your money back in product alone. And that's what was exciting to me. We had no intention, my wife and I, to do this as a business. We got the business back because of how much product it came with. And we were thinking to ourselves, we're just getting the biggest discount on product we are already going to take. So why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we get that pack? And then we got our parents started on it, and her parents started on it, and we were taking it. And as you get this into more people's bodies, you're going to see the positive benefits that they're going to have. And so worst case scenario, if you got involved with the business and didn't even get off the starting line with that pack, you have your money back in product that you should already be using. So I love that. But bigger than anything that we have inside of any of those packs, you guys, is we have a system in place. And unlike the corporate world, you guys, where it was that dog-eat-dog environment, with network marketing, success is derived upon helping other people be successful. And I love that aspect of network marketing, and it was so surprising to me, because in the corporate world, it was really, how could I get to the next level? I didn't tell my peers why I was successful at doing what I was doing, because that would level the playing field for the next raise or the next promotion, right? We were paid more money to separate ourselves from everybody else, and that's not how network marketing works. So we're here to support you on anything that we can. I know that Dr. Brimhall is open to sharing his experience with other people. I'm open to that. We're completely open books. So we'll tell you the good, the bad, the ugly. But do me this favor. At this point in time, you should fall into one of three categories, right? It's not for you. Totally cool if it's not for you. What I'd ask you is this, is if you become interested down the road, just get back with the person that introduced this to you first. Let them know. Or do you mind if every once in a while they just reach back out to you and update you on where the company is? Maybe a new product came out or new science comes out, new financials. Every couple months, maybe we just update you on where we're at. In the second scenario would be you just have some questions. Okay, let us know what those questions are. We can help pinpoint you to the right answers to those questions if we don't know what they are. And I'll contend all day long, Google's great for some things, but researching this is probably not your best strategy. I don't think anybody's going to argue with me that me sending you to the American Heart Association and their research is better suited for you on researching this than a Google blogger. Okay, so just let us know what those questions are, whether it's on the science or the business, and we'll get those questions answered. And then there's those of you like me, where when this ended, we were ready to get started. We wanted the products in our bodies. And so we signed up right away afterwards. Let us know that. Let us know if it's as a customer or distributor. It's less than a 5-minute process. We can get you going. The products are shipped directly to your door. But I want to leave you with this last thought. Is what's happening in the world today as far as the shift on the way that we have healthcare and how we're treating our health within our body. And then I also want to ask you, where are we in the business world and where are we moving to? because I think two major shifts are happening. And Brett talked about this shift that he was having happen in his life. But in society in general, there's two major shifts that are happening. The first is we're gravitating away in society from drugs when we can. We're trying to improve our health and take care of our health when we can in a more holistic approach than ever before in history, I believe, or at least in the last century, right? We're trying to gravitate away from things that have side effects and cause multitude of other problems. So as a natural health company that's upregulating and downregulating genes with natural-based products, we're positioned in a prime place for this switch. But there's also a huge shift in the business world that's happening right now, where we're seeing more and more brick and mortar stores that have been legacy companies disappear every single year. You guys, it blew me away last year when Toys R Us folded the doors. But let me ask you this. Were more toys or less toys sold in 2009, especially in 2018, compared to 2017, 2016? There weren't. There were more toy sales than ever before. So what displaced Toys R Us? Amazon is the biggest answer to that question. And then ask yourself this. If Amazon is the structure of business that was replacing places like Toys R Us, what is Amazon? Amazon is simply this. It's a bunch of distribution centers that are set up to take product and distribute them right from a distribution center to somebody's doorstep. And that's exactly what we do in network marketing and LifeVantage. We take products that are designed to improve your health and we ship them, instead of it being on the store shelf, we ship it straight to the consumer. And I'll leave it with this. When network marketing is done right, with the right products and the right people, it's one of the most amazing ways to do business ever. So I want to thank our guest, Dr. Brett Brimhall. I love doing this. We've got this recorded, so definitely get this into other people's hands. We're going to be doing a lot more live webinars like this, educating people. And remember, it's just education. What you choose to do with this is completely up to you. I know that the decision I made, even though I was open-mindedly skeptical about it 8 years ago, changed absolutely every aspect of our life. So we appreciate you taking the time the last hour. We know that there's a ton of other things that you could have been doing with your time. We appreciate it. And again, reach out if there's anything that we can help you with. We're here to help and answer any questions that you guys have. Get back with the person that introduced this to you and have an amazing night. Thank you guys. Thanks, Dr. Brett.
All right. See you, Shawn. Thanks.
Appreciate you.
Okay.